It is election time, right? So let's meet the candidates. No, not those candidates. The stocks that may be candidates for a re-rating. Check out moves this week in Gap, GM, and Snap. Gap jumping after announcing big store closures as it pivots deeper online. GM doubling down on its EV ambitions, launching the new EV Hummer that's already sold out. And Snap with blowout earnings. So let's kick this off with the Gap, up 10% this week. Is this a turnaround taking hold here? Steve Grasso, what do you say?
So there's a couple of things in Gap that everyone will always tell you. Athleta is a good business. Old Navy's a good business because it's most of them are located outside malls. The traditional store is not the good business. No one wants to be there. So I would agree with the re-rating. Unfortunately, there's too much in that sausage, if you will, not attractive image, to be a buyer of this. I think that occasionally you can get that, okay, some of the parts type thing, and I do understand why it's rallied, but I think longer term, stores are located all over the place. There's too much going on. There's too much room for failure. Ultimately, I'd be a seller here.
I'm going to let you choose your own adventure, Victoria. Which stock do you think deserves a re-rating?
Probably Snap, out of the ones that we have talked about here. I agree with Steve on Gap. I'm not sure they really deserve that yet. They're saying that Athleta and Old Navy is going to be 70% of their sales in 2023. That's a hard story to swallow at this point in time. So I think you need to wait and see on that one. But Snap has really learned to monetize their users. And that was the key on them. So they've got this venture with Major League Baseball. Their ad business is doing really well. The earnings were great. My teenage daughter, really, that's the only way she communicates with her friends. So I think if any of these you're going to have a re-rating, I think Snap is the place that you would have that happen.
Yeah. Delano, which one do you like for a re-rating?
Yeah, I actually like Gap for the re-rating. So when they had the power plan, the investor meeting, they did all the things that investors were really looking for and shareholders were looking for. They talked about their shift and putting their shift behind e-commerce and going away from kind of the retail footprint. They talked about becoming leaner in Europe. And so these were all signs of things that investors were looking for. It also spoke about fixing their real estate issues and exiting out of some of the malls. So a lot of those things are things that I looked at when I was looking at the framework for this company, and they echoed that in this investor plan. Athleta, the brand, that brand obviously has some high marks to hit, and they have areas where they have to execute on that strategy. But they're very keen on the fact that they understand where we sit, where we're all going to be working from home, where the leisure wear is very important, and they talked about that. And so I actually like that, and I think that would be where my re-rating is.
And I can just jump here quickly and talk about GM. We haven't mentioned that yet. I buy the re-rating story there. I think at 8 times forward earnings, the stock might be too cheap. We're talking about multiples here. And when you think about what they've announced in terms of investing billions of dollars more than previously talked about into the EV space, I think there's a big opportunity for them. And, we see the multiples that other companies like Tesla and others carry in the space. I'm not saying that I would equate them specifically to them, but I do still think you could carry a higher multiple. I would watch that $40 level in the stock, though. It hasn't been able to hold above that level for a very long time. But if you see momentum up and through it, I'd be very encouraged.
Steve, I led you to Gap, but I'll let you choose. Which stock do you think deserves a re-rating?
Yeah, it's tough. I sort of lean Jeff's way here, but where are you going to re-rate Snap to? I think Snap is the most overbought that it's ever been in its lifetime of trading. So if I had to lean one way, it would be GM. It's definitely outperforming Ford. So that EV angle, maybe they get a little Tesla shine leaning their way.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.